What up? What up? Word. You already know what time it is. Your boy Matt Mr. Host with the most never need to bring on boss. All we ever did was give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in the real way. For us players to play. Parlay this great game that we got for y'all today. On tonight, right? I got my right hand with me as usual. WI in the building. I'll give a round of applause to the real ones, you know what I'm saying? They give a real son, I don't feel nothing. Just have player. Everything blessed.
Salute, King. You already know. I'm just here trying to see what the word on the curb is.
What's the weather looking like out there?
It's a little bit mild, but we still make do with it, you know. It's all good in the hood. Comes down to it. Yeah. Sun don't shine forever, but as long as we hit, we might as well shine together. It's either now or never. You know what I'm saying? Shoot.
He did it in the family, you know, do it better. Look at that. Somebody to write him that. Somebody wrote him that. Who do you think it was?
Oh, that's Mace. That
was Mason. Yeah, sure.
Sun don't shine forever.
It is Mace. Well, yeah, man. So we got to get into this Dame Dash. He went in on Camron. Camron was talking a little crap back in the day. Well, a couple months back. He said Dame don't know how to manage his finances. So Dame's like, man, Cam ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? And I could, you know, side with what Dame's saying a little bit because he is self-made stuff. He's like
paid.
Yeah, like you know, he's never had a boss for me. You know what I mean? I don't see Dame having a boss or somebody that hold his hand. You know?
Yeah.
When people talk about Dame,
can't really talk down on Dame because he's the one that put a lot of them in position.
Yeah, man, you know, he put Kanye on state property, Dipset, Jay-Z, Lee Daniels, even Kevin Hart. He put on Kevin Hart.
But this is it. And not only did he put them on, but he was an advocate for independence.
Right,
you know,
right.
He's always preaching independence and self-employment, not
and
waiting
his culture versus their culture.
Yeah,
represent the culture the right way and all that.
We need
true.
soldiers like that, yeah. Like I get it. Like you have to get your bread regardless. If it's with somebody or by yourself, obviously you still have to get paid. But you know, just having somebody with that mindset and that willpower to make it come to fruition is more than, you know, more than a lot of people could say. So shit, I take my hat off to the man still. You know?
Exactly. So when he got underlings like Camron going at him,
Camron got his paper up, air out his lungs a bit.
Why he doing all that? Why he going after your man like that?
No? Didn't Camron say that Dame used to pay him to go to the store or some shit? I used to pay him to hold the packs or some shit like that.
Let me put up StreamYard if you want to join the conversation. That show that white boy. What was his name? I ain't never seen nothing like that. Oh hell no. All right, so let's take a look at this here. Boy Mac Mizzle. We keeping it thorough in the barrel.
Forever. As long as you're here, we're shine together. What happened? You don't want to play it for you?
Shoot.
For the cause. Whenever the thing is real.
With my money, but it's not my money right now. With me with all this, people don't use their own money, so they can't take chances. God, that's how starving everybody is to put me in the algorithm to show me suffering that they make up visuals. It's like I'm more flattered that people care so much about my money. But I don't recall ever running around saying, don't say they got money because you become a target. The only time you say you have a bunch of money is when you don't. But that's for people that actually have had money. They would know. I think they've ever made a lot of money to know what it's like to talk about it. But I'm not judging them, but y'all talking about me. So just, you want to keep talking, keep talking. I don't mind the algorithm, I think any famous person that cares what the public thinks, if it's like, especially if it's not true, if it's not with their money, I just think that that's an oxymoron. Like the people that hate you the most, they disguise themselves and they start to say things. People that hate you for no reason are cowards. Like if you got to fight with me, fight in front of me. Give me a fair one. And I'm getting older now, so it's like, yo, it's whack. I'm like 54. I'm never going to be in my 20s again. You're never going to see the 20-year-old version of Dame Dash again. But I did do a lot young. I retired at 35. I'm 54. Like, when can I relax and just enjoy my family and just do what I want to do? But again, I don't care what people say. Keep talking. Keep talking about my pockets. I ain't got nothing. I don't give a fuck. Y'all need therapists. Y'all got some unrecognized trauma that you need to deal with so you could stop hating other people because you hate yourself. I feel sorry for those people. The test is, do I still do the right thing despite other people not doing the right thing? Of course. I like my life. I'm not going to make my heaven into hell because they're in hell.
Yeah, I know Cam, he said that you'll be safe for life if you know how to manage your money. He was out of love when he said it too.
Again, the thing about Cam is he's my little brother. He's from Harlem. And what he did, I wouldn't advise. And because he did it doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Him and I should have that conversation in person. I'm not here to have a conversation between my little brother for entertainment. But it seemed to me like he could potentially have done that for entertainment. But we'll talk about him and I should avoid me for 3-4 years. But if he ever has an opinion, I think what would be, I don't respect when a man speaks about another man when they're not there. I'm not known for talking about dudes when they're not there. I'm known for confronting people and having a conversation in their face. So I would love to have a conversation if he wants face to face, but I don't think it would be that same energy. But I love Cam, and we'll deal with that. Like, if you saw someone that's supposed to be an OG not acting like one because one of the people that are younger than them did something that you wouldn't do, and then it says, "All right, now I'm gonna do that," then that takes away from my OG-ness. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna do that for this platform. So it's all right. I'm not offended by the question. You know, I talked to, like, you know, other people from Harlem, and overall we decided to talk like I just it was something I never thought I'd see him do about anybody, unless me. Just talk about somebody's pockets. But you know what? The only thing I was wait, let me say this. The only thing I was disappointed for Cam when he did say that, he didn't let the world know that every time he calls me, I still front on him. So when he calls me recently with all of these things, you know, before he got upset because of whatever I said about 50 Cent, I'd be like, yo, we still fronting. So every time I call him, I'd be like, yo, I'm in a different house. Show me your house. I was just wondering why he didn't talk about that. Like, every time he's seen me, he's never seen me look like I've mismanaged my money. It just seemed like it was promoting a narrative. What makes me sad about that is that guys like Steve Stout and other people are just laughing at us when they do that. And I just be like, you know, why would you want them to get that satisfaction to see us argue or have a disagreement and, you know, we could just talk? But I did wish I'd be like, why you don't bring up how much I be stunting on him? Like, pause till this day. Why he's not talking about that? That's what I wanted to know. Like, I want to talk about the fun. Like, literally the last 3 times he called me, I was at different cribs. And all had water views, whether it was a river or a lake. Like, how could you mismanage your money, but you paying for everything you do? How is that? Cause that, you know, I don't get it. But, you know, it's just a narrative, I think, that's in the algorithm. But I'm looking forward to the conversation with Cam about that. I call I call people like, yo, call me. But it's all good. But my suggestion for that situation is that if you do have someone you respect and they did something you didn't like and they call you, you know, don't curve, call. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't curve a call them, talk to them. And that should be the example, that we had a disagreement, we resolved it. No one had to know. But, like, it's not a cool thing to say somebody called to talk about whatever you're upset about and you just decided to go talk about it on television. That's not the example that's not Harlem to me. But we keep going. But I love Cam. It's my brother. But I think sometimes being around like a Steve Stout or something gives them the wrong kind of effect and be worried about the wrong shit.
So we went in on him. He went in on Cam. Can't come back. He said he gonna avoid me for 2, 3 or 4 years. He's gonna avoid me for 3 or 4 years.
That's what it is, eh? It's this YouTube thing. The guys are now getting into the YouTube world and they're figuring out, okay, if I say this, and
it's like how I mismanage my money, and I start on him every time I speak to him. I call him. Oh shit! But that's the thing, you know. Cam was getting ahead of himself, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, if you have 2 or 3 houses, all waterfronts, I mean, shit. Sound like he manages his money to me.
You know, it's not just a house. It's a home by the lake. He's acquiring assets instead of liabilities. What rich people do. When
Sound
you
like
do
he's
that,
a motherfucker.
it's a different level of, you know, game when it comes to that. So Cam needs to know that. He already know, but Cam knows that. Cam is just playing. I guess he was
He's playing with the algorithm.
his YouTube thing got to his head a little bit. I don't know if it's the algorithm, bro. He acting like he got diplomatic impunity. You could just say anything. But this is Camron going out off on Dame.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's hear what Camron had to say.
This is before that.
Damn. I never had 100 million at one time, you know what I'm saying, or 200 or whatever. And they know this more than anybody else. You can't stop hustling. All the people Dame put on that he named, it wasn't like they got a chunk of money and stopped. Everybody kept hustling. They kept going. You did put Kevin Hart in this first movie. Be on and doing a bunch of other shit. Yeah, he wouldn't be Kevin Hart just from being Kevin Hart from Paper Soldiers. It ain't like you know Kevin Hart from Paper Soldiers and be like, yeah, he owed Dame. Like the movie, it wasn't Avatar. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Blair Witch. But you did give my opportunity. I understand that. But after the opportunity, it's about keep going. I'm just using him as one example. But when Dame put my name in it, I'm like, damn, bro. Me and we be going through these little don't speak, but I'm sure I love that nigga, and I don't let niggas talk about Dame around me anyway. But you know, sometimes me and him go through this little thing to where, so the last time me and Dame spoke, he called me and he like, yo, you down with the Pap Club? And I'm like, what are you talking about, Dame? Now I see you with 50. You came and padded your pockets. What's up with that? I said, pardon me. I said, it wasn't nothing. It was okay. And I can't, you can't be down with the Pap Club. That's a Pap. I said, I was just laughing. I said, this nigga Dame is crazy. So he says, yo, you mind if I talk about it?
You know, they wanted to get out of
me
him.
and 50 going through something. I said, I don't care, do whatever you want to do. So he ends up talking about it a couple weeks later. And the nigga says, yo, Cam letting niggas come up and smack him on the ass. See, it always goes too far. You didn't tell me that on the phone because I would not okay for you to say the niggas is coming up smacking me on the ass because nobody's coming up smacking me on the ass. So then I was like, see, this is, what are we doing here? What are we doing? So then I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a little freestyle I shot a video for, and I was like, it's real disappointing when your OG turns snaggletooth. In the song, and I had him in the video with his situation. I said, I can't even, I love the nigga too much. I can't even put this out. I felt bad after I shot it. But he's on the internet telling niggas, what you do, this is exact words, what you do when a big strong nigga come smack you on the ass. I'm like, yo, you violating, bro. Your internet violating, B. So I said I couldn't even put the video out. I said, I'm not doing it. And so he has the movie Your Honor, not Your Honor, Honor Up, coming out on BT. So he calling niggas like, yo, I ain't posting, bro. But the thing that got me more confused is because the week before that, prior to him being on BT, he always said he don't need no major label TV sponsor, nothing of this, nothing of that. And he do everything on his own. And niggas who go to the network two lofts and Tribeca right around the corner for each other. 20,000 for this loft, 20,000 for that loft around the corner. So you got $40,000 a month for just lofts, airfare, flying everywhere. You know, Dame, I would have loved to have the biggest mansion in Alpine, New Jersey. Dame is the only nigga that I ever seen to this day. I'm talking about to this day, and I've been in a lot of places, and I could, like I said, maybe I haven't been in the right places. I've never seen a nigga with a urinal in their house yet. Dame is the only where you go to his house and he got the stand-up shit in the men's room. He got a urinal in his house. In the movie, a urinal. You go to Dame's house, he got a crib in Malibu. The same shit they use in the museum. This ain't regular house walls. They make museums out. This is museum walls and shit. Bro, if you live like that, you gotta keep hustling. You can't buy all that shit you bought. And I'm being nice. I'm not even naming half of it. You can't buy all that shit and spend all that money and then be like, I shouldn't have to work anymore.
You got a good point.
I ain't have half the shit I just named. I ain't have back on my feet. Absolutely. Absolutely. I may not be here if it wasn't for Dave, but not because of the initial favor he did for me. He signed me to Rockefeller, and I took off and I kept doing and doing other things and other things and other things. I'm not eating off the Rockefeller money no more. Thirdly, and Dame would testify, when I was getting it and I was signing Dame, I would take Dame briefcases of money. Briefcases like the mob, nigga. Like, you know, you show up with your man a briefcase and give them cases. So when he be like, niggas don't do this and that. No, bro. How long niggas supposed to do? You cannot just stop hustling and be like, pause. Me
Higher echelon, Camron echelon. I'll give you some grace there. I know I can't show Camron grace, but I'm just trying to help him out there. Yes, I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV, and we are officially back to our regular scheduled programming. Had to take a little break there. I'm sorry, but either way, none of that matters. We're here, and we're back, and we got Camron addressing Dame Dash, talking about him on the latest interview that Dame Dash did when he was mentioning that basically he made everybody around him rich, at least everybody that was working for him rich. And now
Yeah. So you see Camron trying to play Dame, but I don't think it's working. Wouldn't like a boss that you know took care of the employees like that. You know what I'm saying? Even if he fell off later on, I mean, yeah.
That's where you got to put him on. When the man them fall off, you got to put him on, especially if you're up.
Gotta hate on the because it's
But
ability,
man has
man.
water properties, he could sell one of those, and he'll be blessed. Or sell two of them, and he'll be blessed. Because you don't need more than one house at the end of the day. You know? People have a couple because they have the money to do it. If money gets low, you sell your property for the high, your properties for the high, and you just focus on one. But
I don't know,
who's
man. I think
like it can be somebody who
Cameron done what?
is a mover and a shaker, and then
This is a big home.
all of a sudden you're just not moving or shaking. For sure, Dame has shit going on. He's still, I think he's still getting to the paper. Maybe he's just doing it quietly.
Right. Exactly.
Feel like
because he's independent, you know.
Yeah.
Well, my whole thing is, why would you need to sign to a label nowadays? Huh? He's leveraging his celebrity and making his own stuff,
Right.
which is exactly what you're supposed to do. He's not incorporated where he's pressure people. They're trying to kick him while he's down, type shit.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so my next topic I wanted to talk about is Shannon Sharpe getting fired from ESPN. I got about 3 or 4 women suing his ass. Because they got news that he settled with the OnlyFans
Yeah, I
in
heard. I
about a
seen that.
week. They just took my
Gave her like 32 million or 50 million or something like this.
Yo, you heard me?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
were you hearing me or you what I said?
Yeah, yeah.
So this nigga Shannon Sharp, man, he's going through it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Naturally. Man's getting the rush from left, right. They're trying to take him out the game, right? Because they know he has paper. Man had one of the hottest podcasts out there.
look, when they're trying to get money out of him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's up with this? What's that T for women? I'm like, did he abuse every woman he was with? Like, I don't get it.
Nah, but that's the
And why
thing.
did he settle with that other chick? Why didn't he just
The girls realize that the man he has his issue, you know what I'm saying? And they're extorting, they're taking advantage of it, you know? Like, oh, a man likes younger things, younger white things, and yeah. So we're like, okay, we don't have to keep it low. This is a payday right here for us. Let's go get some bread. That's how it is. They're trying to come up.
okay? So and they don't have to have no scruples or morals. They could just go for bread, say whatever, and then that's it.
Yep.
Tarnish
True.
someone's name, image.
Exactly. Threaten the man that they're gonna go to media with it, and then boom, man's coughing up the bread. Cause you know he's a public figure. He has an image he has to keep up. From the girls know that they're gonna do what they have to do to corner you, and then boom, then you have no choice but to come out of pocket. You see, this is where the man that mess up. They should know. Okay, you know what? Let me just hold this woman down and say, forget these things. Man needs a woman, dog. You can't be chilling with no little girl. That shit ain't gonna cut it, especially as a millionaire. Yeah, as a millionaire trying to cuff a regular thing.
Yeah.
Nah, bruv. Ain't gonna work like that.
Who the hell do they think they are?
But he should know better though. At this point in his career.
The nigga is almost 60 years old, messing with a little 21-year-old OnlyFans and my hoes and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, facts. That's what I'm saying.
It don't make no sense.
At all.
So the other less than stellar women see that and they're like, yo, I want a piece of the pie too. Well, how much did he give her? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just another rigmarole.
Say it again.
But I don't believe in ESPN firing him because of that. You know?
Right.
I'm sure he's not the first so-called anchor that did something for these chicks to actually trying to sue him.
Right.
They knew that they could get some money out of him the way he be acting. You know? So I don't know. Shannon Sharpe.
He used to
You
sharpen
acting
up.
like you were Sharpie. You
Yeah.
kid with a Sharpie, you know them retarded kid Sharpie?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Three women suing your ass. And they, you know what? They're gonna get their money too. You gonna see. They're gonna get their money. I ain't saying it's right, but shit, you know? You don't want to get caught up like that. You know? Because I remember when Monique said, yo, you need a nice woman your age that'll cook clean for you and cook you a good meal. And she's like leaving them those young 27-year-olds alone. He's like, nah, I can't do that. Can't do that. What? See how far I can't do that. It's gonna get you. Am I lying though? I ain't lying. Stop me when I'm lying. You know?
No,
You know?
you gotta be sharper than that, for real.
It's like you know that you're a target as a black man.
Naturally.
And you paper them. So you're running out these snow buddies. Awesome. It's all about the snow bunny. And you're losing yourself in the process. And you're well. Ain't that a bitch? Well, I don't know what Shannon's gonna do. Maybe he'll just blow up on the internet off his show, I guess. But he got warned, man. Black folks was warning his ass, and he still wouldn't listen. You know what?
Legend and media personality. This news comes just days after settling a lawsuit filed by Jane Doe, who accused him of sexual assault and battery twice in including threatening violence. Of course, Sharpe would deny any allegation of coercion and misconduct in a statement via his that their initial allegations came out. Sharpe decided to step away from ESPN, stating, "At this juncture, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this to allegations set against me." In response, ESPN was in complete support of the choice, saying, "This is a serious situation, and we agree with Shannon's decision to step away." Now, interestingly enough, at the time, Sharpe to the network at the start of the NFL training camp, whereas ESPN declined to comment on that part. Now, as the news made its rounds online, the bears Sharpe of not only jokes, but also reminders of past Club Shay Shay guests like Cat Williams and Monique, offering him advice and warnings when it comes to relationships. Responding to breaking news of ESPN firing Sharpe, one social media user would write, "Monique warned him." Another social media user would reference a quote from Sharpe's most viewed Club Shay Shay interview. They said, "Cat Williams told Shannon Sharpe, then white women will take your rabbit egg down in 2 weekends." Shannon responded, "Come on, Cat." Fast forward 2025, ESPN has reportedly severed ties with Shannon less than 2 weeks after he settled that lawsuit. One more user would sum up previous arguments made by writing, "Cat Williams and Monique tried to set him straight. but his own arrogance got in the way and he didn't listen. While one more would say, Monique is somewhere reading this Shannon Sharpe news like, attached would be a gift of the queen of comedy with a disappointed look from her Club Shay Shay interview with Sharpe. Another user offered a different perspective that many resonated with. Stop saying that woman ruined Shannon. Shannon's lack of self-control and discretion ruined Shannon. That's what ruins most y'all, actually. One more would write, Shannon Sharpe retired that OnlyFans girl before his own family, and now he got fired. Now, conversation about Sharpe's firing wasn't just present on social media site X, as several TikTokers would also join in. Most TikTokers blame Sharpe for his own actions and lack of self-discipline. In addition, some of those TikTokers would also bring up the words of Cat Williams and Monique, shaming Sharpe for not following their advice.
You know, when Cat Williams told him he had an unhealthy allegiance to losers, we did not know that he would make that a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, it's really, truly unbelievable. The fact that Shannon Sharpe is 6'1", 6'2", 220 pounds, and was a lineman and all this, and it took a 23-year-old, it took some 23-year-old white coach to take him out. Girl, you can't make it up. You really just cannot make it up. This is why when I say lust will literally ruin your legacy, lust will really ruin your life. This man was talking about how he's not giving his daughter money. I don't care, this and the third, him and his big bell pepper nose and all this cooling for them people. Not only did he pay that lady off, they also said, wait a minute, buddy, you can go ahead and log out for me. This is exactly what you get. Everybody like, oh, don't kick him while he's down, nigga. It's boots on the ground season. Did y'all not forget?
This is why you shouldn't feel bad for Shannon Sharpe. This dude, Shannon Sharpe, told his daughter that she had a max budget of $30,000 for her wedding, but was out here paying for freak time with an OF model. This dude, Shannon Sharpe, literally retired an OF model. And it's so obvious that this was her plan from the beginning. Step 1, get into a BDSM relationship with Shannon Sharpe. Step 2, record all the evidence of Shannon Sharpe playing into this BDSM relationship. So over the course of however long they were doing this BDSM bullshit, she gathered all the evidence and then used it against him. Even Shannon knew he was cooked. There's a reason why he tried to offer her $10 million to keep quiet instead of going to court. He is damn near 60 years old as a black man about to go to court with a 20-year-old that has a mountain of evidence on him because he was participating in a bullshit-ass BDSM relationship. I'm surprised she didn't get the full $50 million. Arguably, the funniest part about this situation is that Shannon would always try and lil bro Ocho Cinco by saying, oh, he's not professional enough to make it on ESPN. Whole time, Shannon let his freakiness get himself fired from one of the cushiest jobs in the world. Say Lakers in 5 and then get paid $100 million.
So this is crazy stats. So the OnlyFans girl that Shannon Sharpe was messing with settled for $23 million. Now, mind you, they're only dating for a few months. And Shannon Sharpe played for 14 years in the NFL and put his body through a tremendous amount of stress and the potential brain damage that he probably received from the stress from playing in football. And he received $22 million, but this girl received $23 million settlement. That's a big enough stat where every athlete should be celibate. You guys should just be celibate till y'all get married, or you guys have them sign the prenups and then get married. You guys, that's a big enough stat to be celibate, because that is crazy.
I wonder what was going on through Shannon Sharpe's mind when Cat Williams told him those type of women could get you taken down in 2 weekends. I wonder what was going on through his mind when Monique was sitting there telling him to get away from the younger woman.
After settling the lawsuit with that girl that filed these allegations against him, Shannon Sharpe just got fired from ESPN. And that's on him, because as a 50-something-year-old man, you worked your ass off to get yourself to that position where you were about to get a $50 million contract. But you allow your sexual desires to ruin that for you. Because someone your age messing with a 19, 20-year-old girl made no sense. The same way how we tell women to not date men just for money, because sometimes those men that have the money have shitty character, is the same way we should tell men that have money that you should not date a woman just for her looks, because sometimes those women that look good have shitty character. On top of losing that $50 million contract, I'm sure his nightcap show on YouTube is probably going to take a big hit as well. Because if you think about it, a lot of sponsors are not going to want to work with him. even though he settled the case. Moral of the story, men, when you become extremely successful, find ways to control your sexual desires, because that'll be your biggest downfall sometimes.
Now, shortly after ESPN broke news, Sharpe would break his silence on the matter through his Nightcap podcast. There he would say,
obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. The only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really want it to be about him. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and I just wish this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother. The first 2 brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So
what do you guys think about the news of ESPN firing Shannon Sharpe? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to stay up to date with the latest news and comedy by subscribing right here to our YouTube channel. And if you enjoy content like this, check out hypersclub.com to get a membership to watch full interviews and more original content. And if you have a story you think we should cover, send us a message now at hypealerts.com. Reporting live from Hypers Club in Atlanta for Hype Plus News, I'm Symphony.
Notice how he was mad. He was disappointed because his brother, and when his brother was inducted to the Hall of Fame, but he wasn't mad that the chick that he slept with a young chick. He wasn't remorseful that he slept with a young chick and had to give up $23 million. After him for money. He would take all of his money, bro. I think this is one of the worst falls from grace I've seen in a while, bro. If he ain't got no job, I just keep taking his money. You know what I'm saying? Well, he got that YouTube check coming in. But how does that, how could he not understand that something like that will get you caught up a BDSM relationship with a 20-year-old? Huh? You gonna answer for that? Because I don't.
Nope. Don't make sense, truthfully.
So this is the next chick that's suing him again. We'll let the attorney talk about it.
We all know that Shannon paid Gabriella Zuniga tens of millions of dollars to settle that lawsuit. So many people thought it was so crazy that he got extorted by this 19-year-old. 19-year-old. You'll hear that she was the It's the cash. This is the girl sending Shannon text saying, I want you to choke me, daddy, and then turned around and filed a $50 million lawsuit claiming that he was choking her. Oh, it was pure extortion, and it worked. Reports say that she got over $20 million from the lawsuit. Shannon's almost 60 years old, but this young 20-something is laughing all the way to the bank at his expense. It's interesting also that a lot of people were calling Shannon Sharpe out for the way that he treated Gabriella Zuniga versus the way that he treated his own daughter. People noted that he was paying Miss Zuniga tens of thousands of dollars, which turned into millions, but would only pay a small amount for his own daughter's wedding.
I don't know what you could have. I ain't one getting married.
Oh, come on now, Unc. How you gonna do your daughter like that now? You're paying the white girl. Oh,
I don't give
come on, Unc. Our man Unc was wilding out. And a lot of people ask, what's the difference? Why do you think that Gabriella Zuniga deserves so much more than your own daughter?
But that's why, and people wonder why they don't get the blessing that someone else. Ask yourself.
What?
See, you think you're doing everything right, but see, God know your heart. See, you can fool everybody else, but you can't fool that man upstairs, and you wonder why. Ask yourself. Ask yourself when you're alone and you by yourself.
All right, shout out to Unc. He's saying some people deserve blessings and other people don't. And you got to ask yourself when you're alone. And that's fine. That's all good. But look at what has become of Shannon Sharpe. Not only did he have to pay Zuniga tens of millions of dollars, but it came out yesterday that he has been fired from ESPN. Guys, the amount of money that Shannon Sharpe has lost over this girl is insane. Not only was he paying the $25,000 per cheek here and there, but then the $20+ million to settle the lawsuit. Then he lost the ESPN contract, which was tens of millions of dollars more. This man alone has lost generational wealth for his entire bloodline. And now on top of that, guess what? He's getting sued for another $20 million. And he's gonna pay. Mark my word, Shannon Sharpe is going to pay off this lawsuit. Now, is he going to pay the whole $20 million? No, we saw from the Gabriella Zuniga lawsuit that that's not how the game is played. The women ask for a high amount, Shannon Sharpe comes in low, and then they meet somewhere in the middle. Now we have another woman, the opposite of Miss Zuniga. This woman, an older black woman, she's going to get her slice of the pie too. Let's take a look here and see what is going on. It says here, Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $20 million. After the former ESPN star shamed a woman over a viral flirty video with Usher. All right, here is our man Shannon right here. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see the plaintiff. This is the woman that is suing Shannon Sharpe for the $20 million. All right, the exact opposite of Miss Zuniga. This woman appears to be in her 40s, and of course she's African American. Zuniga, 19 years old and a white woman. But listen, Shannon Sharpe is going to pay out all of these women apparently. All right, if we go back up, it seems that, let's see, the woman claims that Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco, Ocho's on the hook too, knowingly propagated a false narrative about the woman's marital status. Says here that Sharpe, 57, just settled a $50 million lawsuit. He was officially let go of ESPN. In this lady's complaint, it says that on April 2nd, I participated in a fan engagement moment at a Usher Raymond concert where I interacted with the artist as a selected audience member. The interaction quickly went viral after fans noted the intensity between Tillman and Usher in the fun moment. And I think if we scroll up, we can see that moment right there. All right, there is the one and only, the talented Usher Raymond, and there is the plaintiff right there, hot and sweaty, ready to go. I think someone said, auntie, please, okay? And now what's the issue? She's having her moment with the one and only Usher Raymond. So what could have went wrong? As we scroll down, the plaintiff says, following the event, the defendants, Ocho Cinco and Shay Shay, made and disseminated false and defamatory statements suggesting that I was married and that my husband was filing for divorce due to my participation in this audience experience. I am not married, nor am I currently going through a divorce. She went on to explain, I was not married at the time of the fan participation moment during the Usher concert. Now on Twitter, guys, a lot of people are saying, come on, lady. Now you're asking for 20 million. You don't deserve it. This is a frivolous lawsuit. He didn't defame you. It was all jokes. But is that really the case? Did Shannon Sharpe defame this woman by saying that she was married when she really wasn't, and saying that her husband, who doesn't exist, was going to file divorce papers? To really analyze this, we need to have a little understanding of what defamation is. Here, guys, we can look at the 5 elements of defamation. Elements we can think of as just ingredients. If you have all 5 of these ingredients, all 5 of these factors, then you have defamation. So we're going to go through these quickly, and you tell me, do you think Shannon Sharpe is on the hook? The first element that you need is identity. So you must be able to prove that the statement in question is about you. Now we can see here from the picture that is obvious that this is the lady that they're talking about. So that's an easy element that she can check off. Then we go to the second publication. It says the statement must be published, meaning a third party must have seen, read, or heard about it. Guys, we know this to be true as well. This actually went viral. Millions of people saw Club Shay Shay talking about this lady and what her husband was going to do with these divorce papers. So we have identity here, and we also have the publication. Again, it went viral. Third is negligence. It's the third factor. You must prove the statement was made with a reckless disregard for the truth or negligently. Now, did Shannon Sharpe and Ocho, did they know this lady wasn't married, or did they just not care? Did they research it? Were they kind of being like journalists and fact checked it? Or did they just recklessly spout out these statements about this lady? You tell me in the comments, do you think that Shannon Sharpe recklessly disregarded whether or not this lady was actually married or not? Before we go any further, let's kind of delve into this negligence a little bit. Let's see what the article says about this whole situation. Now, the lady goes on to say that Shay Shay's and Ocho Cinco's narratives were shared widely across their platforms, reaching millions of followers. Yes, and I think she tried to refute those false narratives, but you know, their reach is so wide. The woman, who is a global director for the Harold Washington Cultural Center, said she even went on national media shows to refute the allegations from the ESPN First Take star that she was a married woman. All right, what else did the lady say? Ocho Cinco and Club Shay Shay continue to post the defamatory content across their social media platforms. I made numerous efforts to contact the defendants to request the removal of this false narrative, but these requests were disregarded. The single mother added, single mother, okay, I don't know why that was important, but the single mother added that the false statements have caused significant harm to my character and reputation. All right, guys, this is very, hold up. Let's pause for a second for a quick word from our sponsor, Chapter Medicare. If you or someone you love is on Medicare, this matters. The Department of Justice just revealed a huge fraud case against top Medicare brokers, accusing them of steering seniors to plans paying the highest kickbacks and not the plans best for them. I've seen firsthand how confusing and frustrating Medicare can be. When I face my own cancer diagnosis, even with my decades of legal experience, navigating the healthcare system felt impossible. That's exactly why I am partnering with Chapter Medicare. Chapter searches through every available Medicare plan to find the one truly tailored to your doctors, your prescriptions, and your budget, completely unbiased and free. On average, seniors who've worked with Chapter saved over $1,100 a year. So if you want straightforward, unbiased help, call Chapter right now at 572-243-0163 or visit ashchapter.org/lead. It's quick, It's free and it could save you hundreds. The number is right here on the screen, 572-243-0163. Give yourself peace of mind today. If we take a look at our chart, what does this lady need to prove? She needs to prove the identity, that it's her. We got that. She needs to prove the publication. She can do that. It went viral. But the negligence again, she needs to prove that the statement was made with reckless disregard for the truth or negligently. Did Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco make these statements recklessly? Did they disregard the truth? Well, I think they did, right? She's not married. She went on numerous TV shows apparently to try to prove that she wasn't married. She contacted them in numerous ways, according to her, to let them know that she was not married, and they disregarded all of her communications. This lady was pretty serious about trying to clear this up, but it all went to no avail. Now I can tell you, we can kind of go a little bit deeper in the weeds about whether this lady is famous, whether she's a public figure or not. I'll just tell you pretty quickly that if you're a public figure, it's much harder to win these defamation cases because you're putting yourself out there in public. But the law says that if you're a private figure, then it's much easier to win on these claims. So even though she was pulled up on stage at this Usher event, and even though she went on news media to try to correct the narrative, the law is probably going to consider her a private figure, and that's going to make this a lot easier for her to win. So I think she's got the negligence factor too. The law is going to try to protect her a little bit because she's a private person, and you have Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco who have millions and millions of followers and subscribers on their platforms making content about this lady who is not putting herself out there to be ridiculed like this. The fourth element is falsity. She's going to need to prove that the statement that she was married during this time was false. She's going to need to prove that her husband is not filing divorce papers against her. She's going to need to prove that those statements are all false. That's going to be easy for her. She's going to be able to testify that she's not married, and then Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco are not going to be able to produce a marriage certificate showing that she was married at the time of the event. The last element is harm, all right? She's going to need to prove that the statement caused material or reputational injury. Now, again, this is going to kind of depend on whether she's considered a public figure or a private figure. Not to get too deep into it, but if she's considered a private figure, it's going to be easier for her to prove damages. We're going to continue to read the article, but what do you guys think right here? Has she shown identity, that the statement was about her? Has she shown that the statement was published? Has she shown that the statement was made in a reckless disregard for the truth? Has she shown that the statement was false? Can she show that? And can she show that the statement caused material or reputational harm? For this last one, it's still a little up in the air. Let's see what the article says. This lady continues that the ongoing misinformation has resulted in emotional distress for the plaintiff, damaging her reputation and adversely affecting her personal and professional relationships. Now, guys, I know when we hear all emotional distress, we think, oh, forget it, it's all made up. But if this lady is a professional, I think she was the director at some center, and people are saying, hey, that's the lady that was up there with Usher. Did you know she's married? Did you know her husband is looking at filing a divorce? Her husband was so mad. How do you know her husband was mad? Well, that's what Club Shay Shay said. That's what Ocho Cinco said. She was up there dancing and looking deep into Usher's eyes. Can you believe this, heifer? I absolutely believe that there could have been a lot of whisperings behind her back from people who tangentially knew her, but didn't know if she was married or not. This actually could have hurt her reputation, guys. The article continues that the woman is a Chicago native whose previously homeschooled daughter received her doctorate while still, what? Her daughter received a doctorate while still a teenager, and she taught her daughter. All right, this is a very important fact. Guys, this has nothing to do with the actual defamation case, but it shows you that this lady here is serious. Despite what we are seeing on the screen, and this lady's about 3 inches from Usher's face. This lady homeschooled her daughter, and while her daughter was in high school, her daughter earned a doctorate degree. That lets you know that this daughter has some serious intellectual genes, and some of those surely belong to the mom, who again is some director of some center. The mom took it upon herself to homeschool the daughter, didn't let the daughter go to public or private school, brought the daughter up herself. What does that mean? To me as an attorney, this this means that this lady is not going away. Despite what we might think, this lady is not one of those all my neck, my neck and my back type of plaintiffs. Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco are dealing with a very serious person. This is not a game. Again, this has nothing to do with the actual defamation case, but I'll tell you as a little tip that attorneys were always sizing up the plaintiffs. Is this person for real or not? Is this person educated or not? Is this person serious or not? Can we blow them off? Can we ignore them? This lady apparently is not to be ignored. She has the capability to really go hard on this case. All right, so the article continues that the U.S. Sun has reached out to Shannon Sharpe's attorneys for comment. In a conversation with the U.S. Sun, Tillman added, "We've been in communication with the legal team of Shay Shay Media, who was also representing Shannon Sharpe." All right, so now the woman is talking to Shannon Sharpe's legal team. The woman says that they're looking to resolve this matter quickly, and we will probably have more to share upon our next conversation. Guys, this sentence right here tells you all that you need to know. If this is true, this lady's saying that Shannon Sharpe's legal team is looking to resolve this matter quickly. Does that remind us of anything? Is that similar to another lawsuit that we heard about just a few months ago? I don't know if you guys remember, but when Shannon Sharpe was hit with this $50 million lawsuit, his attorney came to social media and said, "We didn't even know she was filing this. We were trying to get this resolved quickly under the table without anybody knowing. We had offered Gabriela Zuniga over $10 million to settle. We were in active negotiations and they just went and filed this. This has taken us by complete surprise." So we already see that Shannon Sharpe is trying to resolve that Gabriela Zuniga case quickly and under the table. And now Tillman is saying they're trying to do the same thing with this case. Why are they trying to resolve it? Again, if we look at the factors, this lady may have a really strong case. She can prove that the statement was about her. She can prove that the statement was published. She can prove probably that the statement was made in reckless disregard of the truth because she's not married. And I don't think that Shannon or Ocho really investigated to see if she was married or not. She can prove that the statement was false, and she can prove damages, I believe. She can prove some reputational injury because it's going to be easier for her to prove these things since the law is going to consider her to be a private person. Guys, the law is pretty clear that when you're a private person, people can't really play with your name like that. We can sit back and say, "Oh, Ocho Cinco and Shay Shay, they were just joking," and they weren't. But the law says, hey, you need to be careful when you joke on private people's names. If you want to joke on somebody famous, if you want to go at Monique or you want to go at one of these celebrities, fine. They've got big platforms. They can defend themselves. But these private people, they don't have an audience. So when you spread a rumor like this, it can really affect them because it's so hard for them to refute it. This lady may be able to prove, as she said, that she tried to contact Shannon Sharpe's team numerous times to get them to take down the clips. They would not do it. She wanted them to take down they would not do it. They disregarded all of her communications. Now, maybe they didn't get them. Maybe she was sending emails to an inbox that was never checked. We're going to have to kind of figure out the details on this. But it seems like Shannon Sharpe saying, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and settle with you. We're talking to your team. We want this quickly. I've already lost the ESPN deal. I've already got hit for $20 million with Gabriela. Let's just settle this for a small amount. And it's my belief that that's what's going to happen. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco should have to pay this lady any money? Were they just joking? Or do you think, hey, you shouldn't be able to joke like this on regular people's names if they're not asking for it? What do you think? Let me know. If you were the judge in this case, would you order Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco to pay any money? And if so, how much would you order to pay them? Put your answers in the comments below.
You know what I think? I think Shannon Sharpe deserves this. Sometimes people need to learn the hard way. You out there defaming people, having weird relationships down there 60. You're rolling around with that. stylist you had. Well, you just sashaying around the place. I don't know, well. It was just a weird lifestyle. I mean, you celebrity and all, but you just got a weird lifestyle, bro. And it caught up with you. So you can't blame nobody else but yourself. At the end of the day, shit. Ain't nobody got time for all that. You know? And private people do got rights. And she took the legal route. There's a one more woman. There's a redhead that wanted some money out of Shannon. She's kind of older too, you know. You never know who else is gonna come out the woodwork. So Shannon, shape up. All right. Boy, Matt Mizzle. You know my slogan. Keep it real in the field. We get how they feel. I'm out. Peace.